Welcome back to another vlog. Turbo Harley V-Rod. If you've seen on the channel, welcome back. If you haven't, welcome too. Make sure you subscribe, make sure you like. We're going to do a couple of videos regarding this because we had a failure and the bike was down in the process. Turbo V-Rod. I've already put a vacuum line on my nub, the purge valve, whatever the hell you want to call it, to release some of the pressure. I just took my mirror off, which was flipped in here. Mine are upside down, reverse mount. It's over here. That was a 1/2 inch socket to get that off. Pretty fast, pretty simple, pretty straightforward. Now we're about to break this banjo bolt loose and get the line detached from the actual clutch fluid reservoir. The hourglass failed, so it was leaking fluid. Eventually ended up spraying onto my gas tank. We're not even gonna get into that story because it'll piss me off. So as of right now, we're gonna remove the brake fluid line and we're gonna get this unit off, and we're gonna get our new Drag Specialties one in. There will probably be a lot of questions about this Drag Specialties ones for people who don't know. I'll explain that in another video, but this one will work. I've matched it up, checked all the data. Everything's the same, even though it's not rated for this bike. That's another story we'll get into. So we're gonna get the Banjo Bolt off. That is also a 12mm. I'm gonna use a ratchet wrench. I've already broke it loose. Break your Banjo Bolt loose. You'll have 2 crush washers that come off. Sometimes these fail, mine did not. Again, it was my hourglass that failed. And obviously a whole bunch of paint's eaten away because this stuff's like body acid. It can like dissolve bodies, but you have to use it, I guess, even though it like ruins everything. I went ahead and wiped off a lot of the paint that's eaten away on my brake line. And now I'm gonna come in here with some, I guess, Torx bits and go ahead and pull this whole unit off. And then we will get into the Drag Specialties and we will talk about that from there. Do also make sure you cover this up good. Mine leaked out a good bit, so I didn't have a lot of fluid that came flying out, and I purged a little bit of fluid here. So it wasn't like overwhelming flying off, because you're going to get super anal if it like comes out and gets all over the bike. Usually it'll just trail out of the reservoir and come down the bottom side of the clutch handle. So if it's already toast, who cares? Food for thought. Take a look at this crap just to see what the maintenance intervals were like before you got it. This is garbage. Dot 4, which is what you're supposed to put in it, because they changed it from dot 3 to dot 4 some time ago, and definitely in the years past. And this just looks like mud water. It's just absolutely horrific. And the dot 4 is clear fluid. So now that I've paid attention to that, I will also flush it until all that crap turns clear. And now I'm gonna mate up my hardwares and make sure the Drag Specialty stuff mates up with that one. I've already gauged the old one with the Drag Specialties new clutch master, and the lever is obviously the same length and stuff. So I wanted to make sure everything was perfect before we start double dabbling, and we'll do that right now. Also, another thing to note, we had like bronze or brass crush washers on that side. The new Drag Specialties came with these like rubber inner O-ring infused washers, so that's cool. There was new hardware that came with the Drag Specialties clutch master. So I took that bolt and mashed it up with my Banjo receiver and made sure that, they weren't too far off. You don't want to just throw hardware in that may not work and be the cause of a leak that you put it on and then have that be the source of your problem. Because this Drag Specialties Clutch Master is actually only rated for like a 2014 through 2016 Fat Boy, Heritage Softail, and like one other bike. And I was like, okay, because I called Harley, and for the Clutch Master that was already on my V-Rod, they wanted like $359, and I'm sorry, I'm just not going to pay that. That is a ridiculous capitalism. That is a massive markup. These new units that replace the ones that are broken on your bike or the hourglasses leaking, whatever the case may be, are probably made in China these days. And this Drag Specialties was only like $185. No, $176.99. And this one's already pure black, which my night rod is majorly black. So it actually has more parts that fit in color-wise than what's already on the bike. So that was a free giveaway right there, because I'm gonna do a video on this unit. Like, I even had to call like tech support for the brand that was selling this Drag Specialties, which was just another company on eBay. But I ended up talking to the guy, and he's like, I don't see why it wouldn't work. I mean, my specs don't call for it. But I'm like, dude, the bar diameters on the bikes you have specified on your listing are 1 inch. My bar is a 1 inch. The pistons seem the same. All the other information for like the plunger piston and the banjo size and the thread pitch, I got off all the forums. And also, a lot of people will tell you that on your Clutch Master, it'll give you a size specification, 11/16, which, surprise, this one is 11/16. So I'm gonna go ahead and toss it on real quick, then we'll get the banjo in, then we'll start bleeding it, and we'll walk you through that. All right, what a shot. It's a perfect fit. I do like another thing to add is that your stock setup will go from Torx bits, which I'm not a really huge fan of. They're easy to strip out. You may not even have Torx bits at the house. The new Drag Specialties is on Allen heads. Absolute perfect fit. Looks even better. I mean, like, Drag Specialties, Harley Davidson. Harley Davidson. Harley Davidson. Just paint going everywhere. Like, it just looks sick, yo. Like, I'm going to have to get another Drag Specialties brake side because it's savage. So now I'm going to throw back in the Banjo. I'm going to get this tightened down and torqued down really well. When you put these in, you want to seat your lip inward. So I kind of went like inward and then pried it in. And, you know, make sure your brake lever goes onto the little plunger in there. You'll know it's in because there's little recessions for it to fit in well. This one had to come in at an angle and then level onto it. So just to give you a little fruit for thought on how you properly get those items on. Be delicate, don't scratch anything, spray any paint. Clean everything off again after you're done, just in case you had a little bit of brake fluid on your fingers. Yeah, this might be a little tricky. This is a 3/8 star point, I guess, like 12 point. With your O-rings, I'm about to chunk them in this line right here with my star bit 3/8. That is a 3/8 size. Or, I mean, if you don't have that tool and you're fed up, you can actually use the old Banjo Bolt. It's purely your choice, but I'm just going to use all the newbie stuff because who doesn't like new? 8 star, it was a tight fit with my ratchet being on there, so I kind of just bent that out of the way, kept the rag on the back side of my wrench so it didn't scratch my paint, got that all tightened up. Now I'll take the top lid off, fill it with fluid, and like I said, I'm going to run fluid through it until everything that comes out the tube is clear so I can flush out all the brown stuff. This will also be a separate video on its own, how to actually bleed the clutch slave cylinder itself, which is going to be now. I've already filled up with fluid and we're ready to bleed down there. So you will basically start out with pumping very slow. You can actually see the bubbles already. Squeeze very slowly.
Can I get back up? Can I have my expert stuff?
Nope. You see the bubbles. Keep going. Now I'm already building pressure, which is a good sign. And that looks like it's bleeding bubbles for me. Huh. Interesting. I don't believe I saw that in the OEM handle. Oh yeah. Now I've got clutch pressure. I'm going to keep going for a few until basically I don't see bubbles anymore. If you get any of this stuff anywhere, wipe it up instantly. This stuff takes lives. I have a heavier clutch because I have a Barnett clutch kit as part of my turbo kit, but already I'm feeling clutch pressure I haven't felt before, which is a good sign. Nice and slow. Clutch. We're going to hold the clutch down and we're going to open it up. We're going to let the bald eagles and duck fluid scream. There we go. Now we're getting fluid. All right, got the clutch lever pulled in. We'll let her rip tater chip again. And close it. About 20 more times. I don't know if you can see that, but there is so much garbage in there. A bunch of black dots and speckles and yeah, ew. And you'll end up putting your cover back on. Just 3 Allen heads, really simple. Goes in these receiver holes. Pretty simple, straightforward stuff. Fluid pretty clean down there in the cup, so I'm gonna call it a day for now. And put your top back on, screw it down. Do not over tighten it. Do not over expand your gasket and grenade it. And I'll show you the finished product when it's done. Whew, that was a workout. It was a lot more time because I wanted to flush the fluid, but got our outer casing back on, 3 Allen heads, our top back on, hand tight with a screwdriver. No leaks as of yet, so we're good to go. And we've got clutch pressure, so I am satisfied. We also have a nifty little plastic cover that came on our hourglass. Let's see if it works, shall we? I missed this bike. Turbo V-Rod's back up. We'll get back to some vlogs. Moto vlogs. I don't even think you guys have seen it run on 7 pounds, so we're definitely going to make that happen. Yeah. Cool. I hope you liked it. Make sure you hit the thumbs up, hit the thumbs down if you want to be rude. I can't imagine why this would be a thumbs down video. I just showed you how to do stuff free and give you free information on how to save money and get a better looking product and avoid going to Harley and getting taxed hard. So again, make sure you subscribe. Hit the notification bell for us if you do subscribe. If you are subscribed and you haven't hit the notification bell, hit that. I'm going to install the mirror here shortly. Again, wipe it down every time you spill some brake fluid. Old, paint worn away, garbage, beautiful, new and hotness. We will see you next time.